So a lot of people may not know what American Warrior Initiative is. Today we are from sea to shining sea. That's how it's being broadcast, as we honor the living and honor those who have given their lives. So a little bit about the American Warrior Initiative, which I can tell you this, would not exist without the generosity, the unbelievable generosity and heart of the leadership of this company. Steve Jacobson, can we give him a round of applause? All across America, yes. It is 100% underwritten and funded by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. I've thought many times, wouldn't it be great if every company in America did something like this? And then at that point, veterans all across America who are suffering could receive the help that they so desperately need. So it's going to be an epic day in that we not only honor 16 veterans, but we also honor 16 of the fallen. Because of the generosity of Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, this year 100 dogs will be given to and placed in the hearts and lives of 100 veterans. Yes? At this point, we're going to ask Karen Bond to come up here. Karen, come on. And she has worked tirelessly on this. In fact, she said the next time I say, hey, I've got this great idea,
I'm running. I'm going to say. And this is going to be a really emotional day for me as we talk to Gold Star families across the nation. Brings back a lot of memories, and all of us just if you know, the sensitivity of this holiday season, and this is going to be their first year without their child or their the loved one that they're there to represent. So I just pray that somehow we are able to honor you in a way that makes you feel loved and understand how much this nation cares for you and is embracing you as you walk through this journey that nobody ever wants to walk through. The truth is, we've all been given a gift that has so much more value than any gemstone you will ever lay your fingers on. It is the gift of freedom, and it has had a price. And I think that the reason so few people treat it with the treasure that they would treat a gemstone with, treat it with the honor and respect that they would hold it and they would pass it to generation after generation, I think the reason so few people think it's their responsibility is because so few of us had to pay for it. And that's okay. It's just we need to make it our point, once you've understood the cost of freedom and once you've looked face to face into the mother's eyes who buried her only son and her firstborn child for your freedom, what we just want is we want you to care for it enough, to treasure it enough, to honor it enough, to pass it to the generation that follows you. Freedom has had a cost. And so today what we're going to do is we're going to go across the nation and we're going to honor not only those who have fought for our freedom and are still here with us, but as Louise said, and as I've said, we're going to honor the ones who have paid for our freedom. And we're going to make sure that they know when this day is over that their gift is respected, cherished, and valued enough that we will tell the next generation about your sons and daughters. From California to Delaware, from Wisconsin to Texas, and lots of states in between. And it's going to be an amazing day.
Yes, it is. And we're going to kick it off in Glendale, Arizona.
We are excited to share with you today that the full cost of your service will be paid on your behalf by the American Warrior Initiative and Fairway Independent Mortgage Company. Further, we want to share with you today that the service dog is being presented to you in honor and in memory of Dagan Page, one of the 13 heroes who lost their lives in Afghanistan.
Dagan grew up in Red Oak, Iowa, and the Omaha metro area. He was a longtime Boy Scout and a Millard South graduate who enjoyed hockey, hunting, and spending time outdoors with his dad. Dagan joined the U.S. Marine Corps after graduating from Millard South High School. He loved the Brotherhood of the Marines and was proud to serve as a member of the 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment at Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton in California. Corporal Page was remembered as a person who was faithful, full of life, loving, and joyful. Dagan was only 23 years old when he gave his life for this country.
Give this one gift to you, and we want you to know that Dagan's sacrifice will never be forgotten. And your family, the price that you paid will never be forgotten. And we pray that this blanket will bring you peace and comfort in this difficult times.
And now we are going to, are you ready? Fishers, Indiana. Let's give it up for Fishers. Let's give it
The
up.
full cost of your service dog, along with the puppy starter package, will be paid for on your behalf by the American Warrior Initiative, the Smith Team, the Cryo Crew, and Fairway Independent Mortgage.
Sergeant Ryan Noss. Ryan grew up in Corrington, Tennessee, and was a 2016 graduate of Gibbs High School. Ryan exuded charisma and intelligence from a young age, which shaped the man he would become. His patriotism and respect for our nation's military followed Noss throughout his entire life. His friends said that for many years, he told the world on social media that he wanted to serve his country. Ryan signed up for the ROTC program at Gibbs High School when he was only a freshman. He joined the U.S. Army straight out of high school, serving as a scout in the 82nd Airborne Division. He was later assigned to the Army's 9th Battalion Psychological Operations Group. He had a deep love for the Afghan people who were at the mercy of what was afflicting their country. Ryan and his wife, Alina, were planning to start a family when he returned home from this deployment. Ryan was 23 years old when he gave his life for our country. Humberto was from Logansport, Indiana. Family and friends of Humberto, known as Bert, always knew he was a hero, but now they say that people everywhere do too. Humberto was remembered as a young man with the world ahead of him, a pillar amongst his friends and teammates. Described as intelligent, athletic, kind, and true by those who were close to him. He was assigned to serve as an embassy guard in Jordan before being sent to Kabul. Sanchez's mother, Coral, perfectly encompassed the final chapter of her son's life, saying, in those final moments of his life, he was doing the work of his heart. He gave his life defending innocent civilians fleeing from the chaos that had become Afghanistan. Humberto was 22 years old when he gave his life for this country.
And now we are going to Wisconsin, Brookfield, Wisconsin. Are you ready to take it away?
Today, in the memory of one of the 13 fallen heroes who lost their lives in Afghanistan on August 26th. Andrew, if you could please accept this patch for your dog's vest in honor of Yohani Rosario Picardo, a Marine Corps Sergeant, Massachusetts. And Kirsten, if you can please accept this patch for Rennie's Kareem Nakui from Norco, California.
U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Yohani Rosario Picardo was born in the Dominican Republic and raised in Lawrence, Massachusetts. She was a member of her school's junior ROTC program, earning the nickname Marine in anticipation of her future military career. Yohani served with the Naval Amphibious Force Task Force 51 5th Marine Expeditionary Brigade. Even though she was only 5 years old when the terrorist attacks of 9/11 took place, Yohani knew from a young age that she was going to answer the call to serve her country. She had volunteered to be in Kabul, screening women and children who were trying to leave the country before the Taliban again resumed control after 20 years of U.S. involvement. Yohani was 25 years old when she gave her life for this country. Next is U.S. Marine Corporal, Lance Corporal Kareem Nikoi. Kareem, or Karimi, as his mother calls him, was from Norco, California. The former junior ROTC student graduated from Norco High School in 2019. Kareem was that little boy who knew he wanted to be a Marine and the teenager that carried out the dream. Kareem was the kid who always challenged the biggest person in the room throughout his jiu-jitsu career. His family remembers his wonderful sense of humor, but they're most proud of Kareem's Christian faith, which gives them peace, knowing they will one day see him again in heaven. Kareem was scheduled to return home on August 15, 2021. But on August 13th, he had to break the bad news to his mom that instead of coming home, he was being sent to Kabul. 13 days later,
we are going to Solon, Ohio. Take it away, Ohio.
We want you to know that your loved one will be remembered in this place and that we will never forget your tremendous sacrifice, nor will we take it for granted. We will strive to live lives worthy of the price that your son paid for our freedom.
Navy Hospital Corpsman Maxton W. Sobiak. A native of Berlin Heights, Ohio, Max was a standout athlete, a football player who led his team to playoffs as a senior, and a member of the wrestling team, winning state championships. Max graduated from Edison High School in 2017. Being one of 12 siblings, Max was known as a bit of a prankster, always making people laugh. Friends remember his strength and determination that anything he set his mind to, he was sure to accomplish. One of his proudest achievements was helping found a Biddy Wrestling Jiu-Jitsu program while he was stationed in Guam. Max was assigned to the 1st Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division, Camp Pendleton, California, as relief and support to Operation Allies Refuge. Max was only 22 years old when he gave his life for his country.
Please accept this blanket. We pray that it will be a reminder to you that Americans love and respect and honor what you've given us. May it offer comfort and peace.
And now we are going to Colorado Springs. Let's move it over.
We're doing this in memory of another of the 13 that lost their lives in Kabul. Young man that we're honoring today is Jared Schmitz.
U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. Jared was born and raised in St. Charles, Missouri. He is remembered for his dedication to his family and to his country. He was just a baby when this 2-decade war started, but decided his sophomore year in high school that he wanted to serve in the U.S. Marine Corps. Even before Jared enlisted, he spent every day preparing physically and mentally to join the Corps. A close friend and fellow Marine said, quote, he just wanted to serve his country and do it well, and he did. Schmitz was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division in Camp Pendleton, California. Afghanistan was Jared's first deployment, where he received his last orders to report to Kabul. Jared was 20 years old when he gave his life for this country.
So we are going to Lisle, Illinois now. Take it away, Lisle.
All cost of your service dog, Act 2 vets service dog. And we want to make sure that we are also doing this in honor of Nicole Gee.
A little bit about Nicole, U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole Gee. Nicole was born in Vail, Colorado, and raised in Roseville, California. Shortly after graduating high school in 2016, Nicole married her high school sweetheart, Jared Gee. They were stationed together at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, where they lived with their 2 dogs and close friends. Nicole's friends and family describe her as beautiful, brave, brilliant, and driven. Sergeant Gee became active duty in the Marine Corps in 2017. She deployed with the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit in February of 2021. During her deployment, Nicole's stops included Spain, Greece, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Kuwait. Nicole was meritoriously promoted to sergeant while in Kuwait on August 2, 2021. Her last stop was a humanitarian mission in Afghanistan, where she assisted in evacuating more than 100,000 refugees. Nicole was only 23 years old when she gave her life for this country.
I want you to know that your loved one will be remembered in a place that will never forget your tremendous sacrifices. Nor we take it for granted. We strive to live lives worthy and the price of the family paid for our freedom. Thank you.
Right in the middle of this event, we're going to honor 3 who have given their lives that are outside of the 13. And I'll have Wilmington, Delaware explain that. So we're going to move to Wilmington, Delaware. Take it away, folks.
Kate and Bud, we're thrilled that the full cost of both your service dogs are covered by the American Warrior Initiative and by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. In honor of and memory of fallen heroes Matthew Axelson and James Edward McFarland.
This is Matt Axelson. Matt attended California State University, Chico, where he earned a bachelor's degree in political science. In December 2000, he enlisted in the Navy and earned a place in the elite SEAL unit, graduating Buds Class 237 in Coronado, California. He reported to SDV Team 1 in December 2002 in Hawaii, and in April 2005, Matt was deployed to Afghanistan. On June 28, 2005, Matt was assigned to kill a high-ranking Taliban leader and was part of a 4-man SEAL reconnaissance team. You might know about the story, Operation Red Wings, to support Naval Special Warfare's fight in the global war on terror. Matt was killed during a firefight with the Taliban fighters alongside 2 of his brothers on the SEAL team, Danny Dietz Jr. and Michael Patrick Murphy. For his heroic actions, Matt was posthumously awarded the 2nd highest citation for valor, the Navy Cross. Matt was only 29 years old when he gave his life for this country. And next, James Edward McFarland. James entered the U.S. Navy on November 1st, 1952, where he served for 3 years. During his service, he was appointed to Metalsmith 2nd Class while aboard the USS Salem. He also received the National Defense Service Medal and the Navy Occupational Service Medal. After serving, he became a father of 4 children and worked for the Foles Vending Company as a candy distributor, and I love this, he was known as the Bubblegum Man. Through the I would have liked to have known him. Through the mid-1980s, and later went to work for Prudential Insurance Company as a mail courier. James was an active member of his local VFW Knights of Columbus in his church, and put flags on the graves of servicemen and women twice a year, and also raised money for wounded soldiers annually with different charitable events. McFarland was a devoted father, grandfather, and great-grandfather until God called him home on July 14th, 2014. I'm gonna send it back to Delaware because they have one more that's a surprise, but I want you guys to talk a little bit about that.
You know, we love this initiative, and we are proud to announce that we will be participating in the Tales of Valor next year, 2022, and donating another service dog.
Now we are going to Draper, Utah. Take it away, Utah.
I would like to share what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the men and women that have served our country, that allow me to wake up and to think, speak, and do what I want. I am grateful for dogs. I often say we are not worthy of them. They are too kind, smart, and loyal. We do not deserve them. Patty, we've been looking forward to this moment for many weeks now, and I'm sure as you've already gathered, we're going to be presenting this to you, this service dog to you, and all at AWI and all the Fairway branches here are going to be covering that full cost for you. This service dog is being presented to you in honor of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, who made the ultimate sacrifice on August 26th serving our country.
Your service dog is being gifted to you in honor and memory of Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Darren T. Taylor Hoover. Taylor grew up near Salt Lake City, Utah. As the oldest child and grandchild on both sides of his family, Taylor was a natural-born leader. He was a big fan of the outdoors and loved to hunt, fish, and camp. The 9/11 terrorist attacks had a significant impact on his heart and love for his country at the tender age of 11 years old. He made the decision to serve in our nation's military after Marine Corps recruiters came to his high school. Taylor served in the Marines for 11 years and was on his 3rd tour in Afghanistan in August of 2021. Taylor was 31 years old when he gave his life for his country.
So this is super special to me, and I'm so grateful that I get to give you guys these blankets. And when you think of him, cuddle it, snuggle it, all the things.
Now we're going to my neck of the woods, Leesville, Louisiana.
We would like to gift you a service dog today and let you know that this is being paid for on your behalf in full. It is also being presented to you in memory of Lance Corporal Riley McCullum, one of the 13 who lost their lives in August in Afghanistan.
U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley McCullum was a native to Jackson, Wyoming. Friends and family say he had a certain passion and sense of patriotism from a young age until his last breath. As a decorated high school wrestler, he was described by his coach as cast iron tough. You can see it in his face, can't you? Bringing inspiration to every life he came across. Corporal McCullum enlisted in the Marines the day he turned 18. His battalion's deployment to the Middle East as part of the Special Purpose Marine Air Ground Task Force Crisis Response Central Command was his first. On Valentine's Day of 2021, just before his unit shipped off, Riley married Gianna Creighton. And by the time he reached the Middle East, he found out he was expecting his first child. In a war that lasted as long as he lived, he left behind his unborn child, who was born just a few weeks after his death. Riley was 20 years old when he gave his life for this country.
Sacramento, California. Take it away, California.
Louise and your crew, Fairway Mortgage, American Warrior Initiative, thank you very much. From our hearts, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Dylan Marola was born in Upland, California, and grew up in Rancho Cucamonga. Dylan graduated in 2019 from Los Osos High School, where he spent time as a theater tech, helping backstage with school plays and performances. Dylan was honest, hardworking, courageous, and a natural-born leader. His theater arts teacher said, when he thinks of Dylan, he remembers his huge smile. He could make you smile on your worst day. Lance Corporal Marola joined the Marines shortly after high school and was assigned to 2nd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, 1st Marine Division, 1 Marine Expeditionary Force out of Camp Pendleton, California. Dylan Marola had been stationed in Kabul for less than 2 weeks and was planning to go to college when he returned home and study engineering. Dylan was 20 years old when he gave his life for his country.
We want to thank you guys for coming up from Rancho Cucamonga and for making this journey. We know it wasn't easy for you and you're very busy. We know also, and I want to say this from me to you, that there's nothing that we can do here today or in the future that's going to heal your heart. But we want you to know that we're here for you. We want you to know that your son's memory will live on and his legacy. What he did for our country, he gave the greatest sacrifice, and so did you as well. And just want to say thank you so much to both of you.
I'm just going to scoot up here so everybody else can hear me. Hunter Lopez. Hunter was born in Palm Springs, California in 1999. Friends and family recalled Hunter shying away from the camera as a kid. But as a scout, and especially as a Marine, he began to flourish, developing an infectious smile and larger-than-life personality. Hunter was a Sheriff's Explorer Scout with the Palm Desert Station, and after enlisting, he was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines. He had many aspirations after completing his service, like being part of a shooting and firearms company, along with several of his friends. He also aspired to join the Riverside County Sheriff's Department, like his parents, after his deployment ended. Lopez knew he wanted to become a Marine at a young age and was able to serve 4 years in the U.S. Marine Corps before losing his life in Afghanistan. Hunter was 22 years old when he gave his life for this country. And next and finally, and let me just say before I read David Espinoza's bio, this has been a lot, hasn't it? And it's such a small number in comparison to the vastness of the sacrifice that's been made. U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal David Espinoza was born and raised in Texas. As a small child, he knew that he was meant to be a U.S. Marine, telling anyone and everyone of his dream. David was not the strident type. His family describes him as a person who seemed shy at first, but when you got to know him, you would catch a glimpse of the beautiful, caring soul that he truly was. His mother in the green room told me that he earned the nickname Giggles in the Marine Corps, because once he got to know you, he was completely different. Immediately after graduating high school, he went off to San Diego, California for basic training. Lance Corporal Espinoza then went to the School of Infantry at Camp Pendleton. He spent time serving in Jordan, where he received his last orders to Afghanistan for the withdrawal of U.S. forces after a 20-year-long conflict. His mother and father also shared with me that he had only been in Afghanistan for 4 days when he lost his life. David was 20 years old when he gave his life for this country. At this time, we would like to invite his parents to come to the platform. Elizabeth and Victor, come on up here so the rest of the Fairway family can see you. I was so honored to get to spend time with you guys backstage a little bit and get to share stories a little bit. And we've got something for you.
This blanket is given to you in honor and memory of David, and we hope that it brings you peace and comfort.
So on behalf of the grateful nation, we just want you to know you are loved, you're respected, and we will remember David's name, and we will speak it to our families, and we'll make sure that everyone we know knows of your beautiful son and what he gave us. Thank you.
Can we give a round of applause? You know, a lot of these veterans probably were not surprised that they were being presented a dog. Well, I don't like that, because even though I have been told you should never surprise a combat vet, I am not good at being told what to do. So right now, simultaneously, around the country, we're about to do, everybody say it with me, one more thing. And on behalf of the American Warrior Initiative and Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, every veteran who received a service dog is also receiving a $5,000 financial grant. Let's give it up for our veterans.
From the day Aaron died, I started seeing the goodness of America. I'm sure you guys can appreciate what I'm saying. If you think our best days are behind you, turn off your television. Get off social media. The best days of this nation are not behind us. We are still the same people we've always been. We are a good people that when we see need, we meet it.
Amen.
We will run to the fight every single time because that's who we are at our core. I just want to tell one very, very brief story, Louise. Is when we got the call that Aaron had been killed, our daughter-in-law and 2 grandchildren, my son's 2 babies, were in Washington, D.C., and we had to get on a plane and go to Washington, and then, of course, a couple days later, go to Dover to receive our son's body at Dover. And when we were on that flight to Washington, D.C., it was the first time we left about 24 hours after I found out that Aaron had been killed, and it was the first time that I had been in silence, if that makes sense, because there had just been commotion in our house for the past 24 hours, and now I was leaning my head against a window, looking out as we flew over the nation that my son had just died for, and I was overwhelmed with something that happened inside me, just thinking about what he'd just done. And so I broke down completely. I mean, I was sobbing, and no one around me could tell what was going on. They thought I'd lost my mind. And finally, my son-in-law got one of the stewardesses, and he told her what had happened and where we were going. And it's like the plane came alive with people responding to my pain. People started coming up to me and putting notes in my hand, thanking me for my service. Thanking me for my son's service. And then when we landed, the pilot came over the loudspeaker and he announced to the plane full of people that there was a family on board whose son had just died in Afghanistan. And he asked everybody to remain seated while we left the plane. And as we walked through the plane, people kept grabbing my arm, and I could hear them out loud praying over me. And I just thought, this is what he died for. The American way of life. This is who we are. This is why today across this nation, we have given away 16 service dogs, which is insane. You guys probably don't know how much a service dog costs, but they are not cheap. And this is just what we stand for as a nation. This is who we are. And so to have you guys stand behind me is an honor to be with you. And to every single one of you that I'm looking at on this screen, every Gold Star family that's represented here, God bless you. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you've given to this country. Your sacrifice will not be forgotten. It will be respected. And we will speak your children's name for the rest of our lives.
Amen. Amen. One of the most special thanks goes to Steve, whom I call Jacobson, the CEO of our company, that without his support and the support of the leaders, none of this could happen. And I'm going to just invite him to say a few words and sign us off. Jake?
Hard to talk after that. It's humbling to listen and watch. When Karen says, see a need, we'll try to meet the need. That's what we're trying to do. Nick Smith said, because of your families and the sacrifice we can think, speak, and do each day. For the folks for us that have not served, if we've been blessed, our responsibility is to pass blessings on. We are a mortgage company that tries to help people with the American dream. There's an intrinsic reward system that we have when we help a couple buy a home. It's a big deal, right? But it's not what you folks have faced. It's not what we've heard today. So our responsibility is, if we've been blessed, to pass those blessings on. Hopefully today, the respect and the love that you felt and can hopefully continue to feel is our responsibility of doing a small part in helping with that deal. We're just grateful to have an opportunity to be in a position that we can give and to do our small part. Like Louise has said, and has said many times, none of us can do everything, but all of us can do one thing. Today was hopefully a sense of our one thing. We just want to end, Louise and Karen, with thanking everyone involved today, thanking the Fairway teammates, and also thanking everyone that served and the families that will never know the pain that you folks have went through. That's all I got, Weezy. Take it and run.
God bless you. God bless America. Thank you for coming.